Hello, and welcome back to Earth. Ash was a martial artist. So after winning in the Indigo Plateau, Ash would return back to Saffron City and back into the dojo, as his master Kyo had left before he had, as he was doing the award ceremony. So he would return to the dojo to go and check on his master. But on the walls of the dojo, he'd see a massive red R everywhere. As then, it would look very much like the Team Rocket logo, but it'd be a bit more different. As then, Ash would hear in the further part of the dojo a man screaming and an Arbok hissing. As then, Ash would go and he would see his master being strangled by an Arbok. As then, a female voice from afar would say, "Oh, so you've came finally. I've been waiting to exact my revenge on you." As then, Ash would be wondering where it was coming from. As then, he would decide to use his polygraph to save his master. As then, a male voice would say, "I don't think that's gonna work out." As then, a Houndoom would jump from the shadows and would use a crunch on polygraph and would knock it to the floor. As then, Ash would say, "Where are you? Come out and face me like real people. And what are you doing to my master?" As then, two figures would come out of the shadows, revealing themselves to be Ariana and Archer, two Team Rocket executives. As then, Ariana would say, "I've been waiting to see that look on your face, that look where you're puzzled, that look where you're concerned for someone else's life or someone else's well-being. I'm so happy that I can finally see that on your wretched face after what you've done to me." And then Ash would say, "What are you talking about?" And then she said, "Don't act clueless. You stormed into the gym and into the Viridian City gym. You threatened my husband, made him disband Team Rocket, and you spoiled my life. You spoiled the lives of all of us, my son, my husband, and me. How are we gonna get stable income now? Thanks to you. My son abandoned me, my husband went away, and now I'm all alone thanks to you. My son thinks we're weak and that we're useless, all because of you." Then I should say, "What are you doing? Revenge isn't the way to go. Why are you doing that to Master? Please stop." As then Archer would say, "You think we're gonna stop her? Did you stop taking us down and sabotaging all our plans back then, huh? We are not gonna stop until we get payback on you and we rule the entire Pokemon world. We are not gonna stop until we reach our goal or until we make you feel true pain." As then, Ariana would command her Arbok to tighten the grip on Kyo. As then, Ash would say, "What does my master have to do with any of this?" As then, Ariana would say, "Oh, isn't it obvious? You care about him, don't you? He's your sensei or master, as you call him. I want to make you feel the same pain as I felt when my husband and my son just left me in the dust, all because of you. I want to take this man hostage, and I want to show you the true power and the true intimidation factors that us Team Rocket members have. We are not going to stop until we show you who's boss around here, until you suffer the pain that we suffered." As then Ash would say, "I won't let you go, Primeape." As then Primeape would jump out of the Pokeball and would punch Arbok's core. Not Arbok, but Houndoom straight in the jaw with Mega Punch, as it would try and jump for Arbok to knock it off, but then it would be bitten on the foot by Houndoom, as then Houndoom would knock it back to the ground, as then a full battle would ensue, as then both Pokemon would trade Fire Fangs and Mega Punches, as then Ash would call for a close combat, as then Archer would use a Flamethrower. Both moves would collide, which would do decent damage to both Pokemon. Ash would then call for a Mega Punch, as then Archer would call for a Fire Fang. Both moves would collide, which would cause a dust cloud all over the dojo, as then when it cleared, Kyo, Houndoom, and any trace of the executives was completely gone. As then two grunts would show up, and as then they'd say, "Oh, looks like everyone else has left. Guess it's time for us to do our job." As then they would send out both of their Golbats, and Ash would use Primeape. Primeape would use one Mega Punch, which would do a lot of damage to one Golbat, which would cause it to be knocked out. As then both grunts would look at each other, as then they'd pull out their burst surging bands, as then Ash would say, "Wait, what? You guys can burst surge again?" As then they'd say, "Oh, you know about that little problem here? Our top scientist just fixed it in a little while, and now burst surging is a lot more powerful." As then they both pour in pure power into the Golbat, as they'd force it to undergo an excruciating transformation. As then the Golbat would scream, "Golbat, go!" as it would scream in pain. As then a purple glow would emanate around the dojo, as its eyes would be pure red. As then, when the excruciating process was over, there would be a burst surged Golbat standing there, ready for battle. As then Ash would use a Mega Punch, which would promptly be dodged by the Golbat. As then Golbat would use a Wing Attack, which would do a lot of damage. As then Ash would go for a close combat. Most punches would be dodged, but one punch would hit Golbat right in the face. As then Ash would use a Mega Punch, which would also be dodged. As then Golbat would use a Wing Attack, which would send Primeape back. As then Primeape would decide to finish it off with a Mega Punch, as would knock out the burst surged Golbat. As then the two Team Rocket grunts would say, "Even though we've lost, we've done exactly what our task was to do. It was to slow you down so you couldn't catch up to the other to Ariana and Archer. So now you're way behind." As then they'd cackle. As they'd leave, as Ash would return, Primeape, as he'd go outside Saffron City, as he'd see it would be pretty normal, but he would turn as he would see his mum being apprehended by two Neo Team Rocket grunts, as they'd say, "Where is your son?" And I'm pretty sure that Archer and Ariana would like it if we took you with us. As then Delia, not knowing what was going on, would say, "Hey, what are you weird people doing? Get away from me, please." As then they'd say, "You think you have a choice, huh? I guess it's time for us to enforce." As then they'd send out a wheezing and a Golbat. As then they'd say, "So either you come with us peacefully, or these two will force you, like it or not." As then Ash would intervene. I would say, "Hey, what are you doing with my mom?" As then he'd said that was his starter, Machamp. As Machamp, seeing Ash's mom in such danger, or someone Ash cares about in such danger, would get angry and would then use one Mega Punch, which would instantly knock out Golbat. As then Weezing would go for a poison gas, which would probably be dodged by Machamp. As then Machamp would use a Cross Chop, which would barely leave Weezing standing. As then Weezing would try to go for a Sludge Bomb, but it would be promptly defeated by a Mega Punch. As then Ash would go in front of the Team Rocket grunts and would question them, as he would ask them, "Where are Ariana and Archer going? I need to know." As they'd say, "Like we'd ever tell you." As then he'd say, "That wasn't a question. I'm asking you a question. Answer it, or Machamp will show you with some respect." As then they still refuse. As then Ash would gut punch the male Team Rocket grunt and would then say, "Tell me now. I'm not gonna let you people mess up my life." As then the female would disclose the information, while the male Neo Team Rocket grunt was struggling on the floor. As then she'd say, "They're going to Azalea Town in Johto. That's their next destination. You can take a plane or a ferry there. It's your choice." As then Ash would allow them to leave, as he had got the information that he needed. As then his mum would go and talk to him, as he'd inform his mum about the entire situation. As then she'd give Ash some money, as she'd then come and hug her son and would ask him to give her his badges, which she would do. She would then say, "Ash, you are very brave. You are going out there to prove a difference, to go and make a difference in the world and try to stop Team Rocket and save your master. Not many 10-year-olds would do this, Ash. You are truly one of a kind, and I'm happy that you are my son. I wish you good luck." As then she'd hug her son even tighter. As then Ash would hug her back. As then they'd part ways. Ash would use the money that he got to go and buy a 5-star ferry all the way straight to Violet City, as Ash didn't really have any business going to see Professor Elm or anything like that. All he needed to do was go collect gym badges and stop Neo Team Rocket. As when he got there, he'd be exploring Violet City until he came across the gym. He would then battle Faulkner with his Machamp. As then Hoot Hoot would try and use a peck, but Machamp would quickly dodge the attack and would then use a Cross Chop, which would instantly knock it out. As then Faulkner would send out his Dojo. Dojo would then go for a Draw Peg, which would probably be dodged by Machamp. As then Machamp would go for a Mega Punch, which would do a lot of damage to Dojo. As then Dojo would try to jump up in the air and would use a high jump kick, but that would promptly be avoided by Machamp, as it would finish off with a Cross Chop. As then Faulkner would say, "Your Machamp is quite strong. This is my answer to it." As then he'd send out his Pidgeot. Pidgeot would then use an Aerial Ace, which would do decent damage to Machamp. As then Machamp would go for a Cross Chop, which would be avoided. As then Pidgeot would use a Wing Attack, which Machamp would tank. As then he would respond with a Mega Punch. As then Pidgeot would use a Quick Attack, which wouldn't do much. As then Machamp would use a Mega Punch, which would win Pidgeot, as would then finish it off with a Cross Chop. As then Faulkner would come and congratulate Ash and Machamp on their victory, as he would then say that Ash and Machamp really are strong, as he saw them in the Indigo Plateau on live TV. As then Ash would ask him the directions to Azalea Town, as then Faulkner would quickly tell him. As then Ash would think in his head, I'm coming for you, Neo Team Rocket. I'm not going to let you take my master hostage and get away with it. As then, I think this is now the perfect time to end this video. I personally really enjoyed making this segment of the story, and the reason why I'm uploading it like the day after the pool series is because I want to get more parts out, as I still have a bit of my break left. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.